Yes. Hey guys, my name is Gerald Peters, and listen, I believe that anybody, regardless of age, race, sex, or even your current financial situation, you can become financially independent in the next 7 to 10 years. Tonight, last week, I was joined by my right hand. Every Monday and Friday, you see her live with me, Jess, and a brand new trader to the, not brand new trader, but new to the MFG, my man Ethan. Ethan has gone out of his way to insert himself, to put himself, and to position himself to learn as fast as he can. I want to introduce you to this new MFG trader. Hey, make him feel welcome. Let him know you saw him on the podcast. God bless. I hope to see you in New Orleans very soon.
Still similar to what I have now with the 401k, the second, you know what I mean? Where it's
like you'd want to still be saving and investing.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying is what would that number need to be, right, to do both of those comfortably?
Probably about 80% of what you make at work.
Okay. I
just pulled mine up here.
And that's 80% of what I make, and that would be
passively. You obviously you could walk away from a job with less because you're going to go do some shit. You're not going to just sit home.
Right.
Like today, I made $120 day trading. Well, I was down 300 at one point, and twice it was my fault because I let myself get distracted for 2 bars, and that's all it takes to be down 200.
Right.
And then I had to make it back. So secretly, I kind of like that shit.
Yeah.
Dude, one day I woke up, I was down 1,700 because sometimes I'll hold it over, even though I tell you not to.
Yeah.
But I feel like even though I say, listen, no one knows anything, I sometimes secretly think I do.
Right.
And yeah, Jess will tell you. And I'm like, no, this is the bottom, all in. It's not even a stage 1 yet. Like it's and then sometimes it is, and they'll look over, and I'm like, because I was looking at the 1 hour, and they were. Right. You know what I mean? Like we were talking about that time continuity.
Well, and because that's my thing, right? Is like
you can't count on that. You can't count on day trading money.
No, and that's what I'm saying is, and when I think of going off and not working your 9 to 5, I don't factor I'm going to go hit the charts and make a bunch of money. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I think of more like the second income stream, but like even that, it's like, okay, cool. That's a great like side hustle in business, right? But would I need something else?
Yes. I mean, why else would I do the other things?
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. And it's like I think branching into
depends on your ambitions.
Yeah.
Like I'm trying to get to 20 million, so I need other things.
Well, right. Well, and that's my thing is, and I say that not like, oh, cool, that's running, I can chill, but more so like that's cool, but is that enough?
Right.
Because that's my thing.
And they'll tell you, there's a guy he actually used to do this. Like if you had a side hustle or another business, when do you step out? He called it I forget what he called the show. And their target was 70. You're earning 75% of what you were making at work.
Yeah.
Okay. I never saw it like that. Like I never sat around, I'm at 72. Like I didn't calculate it like that. I was making money, and I knew if I could put more focus on this, I would make more money. And I don't know how much that is.
Right.
You know? And so my wife made like $3,200 a month. And I knew we could live on that, you know?
Yeah.
And so then I was like, well, then let me try to make the big money, you know? And I think it's like that. You know, your wife doesn't work, does she?
No, she does. She works at a dentist office, but like
is she planned to do that, or would she rather be at home, like be at home?
I mean, she would rather be at home, and
that's what I mean.
I would also as well, for the simple fact that like we've gotten a couple estimates for childcare. It's like $1,500 or $2,000. Right. I told her, I said, that's what you bring home. I said, I would much prefer, right? Yes. We sacrifice your income, right? Then, because I told her, I said, me paying $1,500 for somebody else to watch my daughter just seems fucking backwards.
Yeah. Especially if they're not making like triple that, it's not even worth it.
And like I told her, I said, I would rather take on the burden. I mean, but I pay the mortgage now, and I mean, she pays little
that doesn't
things.
account for, like, she might find some shit she could do at home that makes extra money.
Well, and that's what I told her. And that's like I told her. I said, even if you do some part time, oh cool, I made this. I told her, I said, in the grant, because she's the type where she was like, I know I'd be at home, but I still want to bring something to the table. You know what I mean?
You are right off the bat. You're bringing 1,800. I mean,
well, and that's what I told her. I said into it, and I said, and the fact that you'd be watching our daughter, and you have her best interest in mind. I told her, I said, and that's worth. I don't know.
Priceless.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? So
yeah,
and like
no, exactly. That was the proudest day of my life when my wife didn't have to go in.
Well, and it's like, and that's a burden that I would happily carry, you know, and like Boeing makes me take, so within a calendar year of her being born, I have to take 12 weeks paid. Well, I told her, I said, well, fuck, I'm going to take a month right off the bat. And I told her, I said, the way I've been trading off this fucking phone, I told her, I said, when I can sit here behind my computer at my setup, right, and have everything, all my tools, right, not compressed into this fucking thing right here.
Right.
I told her, I said, it's magic.
Yeah, bro. We could trade like together like an hour every day.
Well, and like I told her, right, like I've been stoked, like, because I've been texting with you and Jess, and like she's been, oh, how's it been going or whatever. And like I told her, I said, he's one of those people, right, that I don't know, like when your intentions are pure, right, you can't lose when you're around somebody like him. And I told her, I said, he's done everything I wanted to do. You know what I mean? Like he paved his way. He didn't climb the corporate ladder. He didn't, oh, Gerald, do you have a 401k and benefits? I don't know. Like, fuck that, man.
I wish somebody would that to me.
And it's like I told Maddie, I said, it's getting to the point where it's like, it feels disrespectful, right? Like, oh, I have to settle doing what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Right. Come on.
Yeah. And for a while, you know, you might do that. But once you get a goal or an idea, like the fire thing is an idea, right? And it's like, for everyone, it's just a number. Math, you know, it's just time, you know, time times amount times yield.
Right.
And then whenever I think of yield, we can kind of control that.
Yeah.
Now we can't control time. Fuck, I don't know. You might die in a wreck tomorrow.
Right.
We only got the time we got, right?
For sure.
And I think about that too. Sometimes I'm like, fuck, dude, what if I live to be like Buffett? I'm like 98 and I fucked around and retired at 54. Right. And I'm sitting there at Denny's with my, you know, 4 million, and I could have 40 fucking million flying private jet, hanging out with some young people fucking trading.
Right.
Right. And it's like, why would I do that? Like, it doesn't even make sense, dude. I don't even feel old, you know?
Yeah.
And then you see like Jim Simmons, like we were just talking about, making 60. I mean, fuck, maybe I'll figure that out. Like, I'm still figuring. I mean, a lot of shit I know and what I'm doing, but I mean, I could do the money flow way better. Like my own self, like following the fucking rules myself.
Right.
And being around other people and other I mean, to me, it's exciting, but
yeah, for sure.
And you know, like when I showed the second income stream, I'd been doing that for a minute, and I had a similar thing before, but you know, Jess was saving for real estate because I always tell people you need to buy properties. You know, and that was the reality when I was your age. You know, it was to buy a stock was $29, to sell a stock was $29. So being a trader, I ain't got the money.
Right.
You know, but I could swing trade. If the trade lasts a week, 2 weeks. So that was what I did. But day trading, that wasn't even a thing, man. Unless you spent some real money, you know?
Yeah.
You know, I'm mowing yards and shit out of the army. I'm not, you talking about day trading. That's not a thing.
Right.
Some of the big cities, they started having like these cafes. Like that was the early way they did it. It was like you could come in there and rent their shit, you know?
Yeah.
And you'd put money on there, and it's like, I don't know if you ever seen that book. It's one of the books they tell everyone to read. Anyway, they used to have these things called bucket shops.
Mm.
Bucket shops are like bookie things, but for stocks.
Yeah.
And it was all bullshit, but you would just you were playing and they were using the numbers from the real stock market, but it wasn't real because almost everyone loses. So they would just take fake trades. They weren't even real.
Oh, I see.
You'd put the money up, and then so like a bookie, they would try to kind of get people on either side of the trade. It was like a thing in America.
How's that day trade?
Right, and they've all gone away.
I was about to say, I would hope so.
There's a famous book. God damn, I can't. If you go to our Discord, I don't know if you've seen this one. I like it. No, almost nobody else goes to it. It's called Biographies. And you'll see I post famous traders in there all the time. I'm obsessed with famous traders. So usually every month I have one person that I'm like in my spare time. If I go to bed, I'm listening to a YouTube about them. If I get a chance to read, I'm going to try to read something about them. So like we were talking about Jim Simmons. I spent a solid month this guy. Everybody knows Buffett.
Right.
But they think they do. Buffett's a fucking shark, man. This guy does option, all kind of shit. He doesn't, but you see him in public, he's licking an ice cream cone and he owns Coca-Cola.
Right.
That is not what he's doing.
Right. He's a wizard.
It's like, you really think he became the richest man in the world owning Coke? That was what he did. It's like, no. Right. But even the lesson in Coca-Cola, like, I think it was not last year, but the year before, I try to get everyone to read his annual statement. Yeah, and just for fun, dude, if you ever just go back and read them, there's a book. Yeah, like 1950 to present.
Yeah, you said there's a lot of good stuff in there.
Dude, it's like the first 11 pages are just kind of his philosophy to his shareholders, what happened this year and what he's thinking. That's it. And every one of them are like, listen, I don't know what the fuck is going to happen next week. Every one of them are like the same. I don't know, but here's what we're doing,
Right.
And it would take 5 to 7 years for the Buffett fund to get a full position. Like they already know this. Most of the people I train, that's like a 2-second thing. Boom, I'm all in. What's up? And it's like, that is not at all how he does it, Right. He's anticipating it's going to come down. There's going to be problems. There's going to be wars. And he's going to use this next 5 years to build a massive position so that when it does go up, he makes a fuck ton of money. And that gets lost on people. That Coke position, he gets almost $1 billion a year in dividends. Yeah, but from 1982 to 1989, all he did, stage ones, is buy shares. And then he sits on it for 20 years, right?
Right. So his philosophy is similar to yours, no? Buy stage ones.
Buy stage ones, hold them. Now, he may define a stage one different, but it's on sale. It's below intrinsic value. He's not going to pay for it if it's above.
Yeah.
Unless there's a reason to believe that people are wrong and it's going to go even higher. And he's got shit wrong. He's lost, Kraft Heinz. He lost a shit ton of money. He lost a bunch of money in ConocoPhillips. He lost a shit ton in Delta. But what people don't know, in the Delta, he blew out in COVID. The reason he blew out was he didn't want anyone to come back and say the airlines were bailed out because the richest trader in the world was a shareholder.
Oh, really?
He literally took one for the team and never talked about it. That's a stand-up dude. Like, he removed himself from it because he didn't want that to be in any way reflect on the company.
Right.
That they bailed Buffett out. So he took the loss during COVID, never told anybody why. That was why. So people will freak out. Oh, Buffett's selling this. Bro, you don't know why he's selling, man. Like, there could be a million reasons he's selling. It's what he's buying you want to look at,
Right. Yeah, people get caught up on the CEO of like Zuckerberg selling Meta. And it's like, and if you look at the history, he sells Meta every single week.
He has to. He needs money.
Yeah, exactly. Right.
Right. I mean, like, his pay is probably not that much. Well, and he's going to die with $30 billion. Like,
well, and they're like, but I don't know, 28 million every week. It's like, who cares? You know what I mean? Let him sell fucking shares.
$28 million a week for the rest of his life.
Yeah.
Because it's like 30 fucking billion. which is 1,000 million to make $1 billion. He has 30 of them.
Right.
So I don't know what that math comes out to, but something tells me he could sell that for a long time. And the reason he's selling so small is he doesn't want to knock the stock down.
Right.
So yeah, it's like they're selling to get money. They could be getting divorced. They could need to hook up a friend. They could be putting it into a charity. They could be starting a new business. You don't know why, but they buy for one reason.
Right.
They think it's going up, or they want to own it, So I don't pay too much attention. Let's see. Hold on. Is my thing? Oh, there we go. I was going to show you this on. I closed out Dollar General. I had that as a swing trade, and it just was not working, dude. E-Trade will show the craziest shit. Today's realized gains down 18 grand. That did not happen.
Does that total say 89?
The account value is 147,000. Right here?
No, that unrealized gain.
Right
above available.
Oh, no, it says negative 9,000. That's
wrong. I thought the dollar sign was an 8. I'm like, damn, dude, 89
here's today's
is a lot of money.
So it says today's gain unrealized 1,600. Today's gain realized 18 grand. I would have noticed if I lost 18 grand.
Yeah.
Yeah. Their shit is, you have to use 2 different apps to get the right numbers. It's crazy. Anyway, like this is the second income. We click estimated income. It's currently not tracking the weeklies correct. I mean, some of them it seems to be, but you'll find this shit fluctuates because a lot of these option income funds, it can vary, and then some of them don't report it till later. And so this is the real number is probably about 107. But then, you can look and see, right? 96, 142, 9, 193. We can go down the, let's see. Let's do next week. Let's see. That's probably count current week. So here's current week, $697. I feel like there's something they're not counting though, which sometimes that happens,
Mine, what was I going to? Mine was missing some of the Group Ds, I think.
Yeah, it gets weird. The regular shit, like if you go to all brokerage, let's see, let's say the next 2 weeks. So the next 2 weeks, it's showing 1,972. Now I have 2 other accounts, one that does about 8,000 a year, one does about 10. So there's like 18,000, which comes out to what, like a little over $1,000 a month.
Yeah.
That's not reported in here. But it does fluctuate, and you can have positions that stop, they stop their dividend. That's why you can't just be an all misty,
Right.
As much as that thing is doing great.
That might have been one that mine's not keeping track of right now. Because that pays Friday, does it not?
Does it really, Misty? Let's see. Yeah, there's a bunch.
It's a group D, right? I thought my notebook has Group D for this week.
Which shows ex-dividend day on the 19th.
Oh, so it doesn't have.
Pays on the 20th. So that's going to be next. Well, ex-dividend day is Sunday. That's not going to work. So it's probably going to be what, the 17th or the 20th, I imagine.
Yeah, my chart doesn't show. Normally it shows. Interesting.
It wasn't on there, was it? Let's see.
Yeah, because I have this week is the Group D's, or the 20th. Or the 17th is Group D, and then the following week, the 24th, Group A, and then B, C, D, A, repeat.
Right. It's not. You know why it's not showing? I bet because the ex-dividend hits on a Sunday. You think? Because you're right. It doesn't show Misty in here at all. This calculation.
Well, because I bought a bunch last week, not Misty, but a bunch of drip ads, and then I checked my income, and it went down by like 36%. And like, I know you said it fluctuates, so I was like, okay, cool, right?
Well, ever since they went
pretty big fluctuation.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. Ever since they went to this weeklies, the yearly's not bad, but it's still off because mine is like 20,000 less than it normally is. The only thing I can think of is the weeklies, because on the weeklies I'm about 650 a week times 4. That's 2,400 times 12. That's over. I think that accounts for the missing 20. I don't know. We'll see. M1 Finance is similar. They're doing a better job of tracking it.
Yeah.
Let's see, man.
Diversification to the portfolio, codes for the NSA.
Let's see.
Jim Simons, the founder of Renaissance Technologies, has died at the age of 86. That's according to a statement published by the Simons Foundation. His hedge fund is considered a pioneer of quantitative investing, and his technique was so successful that he became known as the quant.
I don't have any bonds. I feel like now is about as good of a time as I'm going to get.
The legacy of Jim Simons and Renaissance Technologies, of course. Tell us a little bit more about what people are saying today, what he's most remembered for.
Well, Jim is a pretty interesting character because not only when
Jim Simons, man. Trying to find the wind here. Let's break down this wind. What were you saying? Sorry.
No, I said I don't have any bonds. I said now would be about as good of a time to pick some up as I'm going to get.
I've got a shit ton. I've been buying stage ones first. Yeah, I wish I was just buying them. Well, man, as you know, in the Peters report, page, what is it? Have you been trying to do your homework like this?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Ever since we did our homework that when I was down there with you, I've been doing it the same way.
You just do this a lot. It's fun when we do it in person because it could take 4 to 6 hours.
Yeah.
But like on a stage 3, we're going to look these up and see what the true value is or fair value. I tend to use Morningstar. If you're on a budget, you could use Yahoo. It gets pretty close. Yahoo Finance.
Yeah.
I like Morningstar because they write it, commentary. They write commentary about it. You can read about it, not just have a number. You can understand the business.
Yeah.
And
yeah,
it was only
a couple weeks ago.
What's that, Morningstar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. And like this week, there's only ENVX, USOI, Google, UCO, and USO. There's probably a few others, but it's mainly oil as far as last Sunday. And when you get a chance and it's just, a few like that, that's when you can if I allotted a couple hours for homework, I can dig into oil.
Uh-huh.
I instead of cutting it short because there's not many there, I could expand my knowledge of oil stocks.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I use it. And then sometimes there might be 40 stage 3s. You don't have to put them all. That's one thing I try to stress people. I'm not putting every stock I own or every stock. If I put Coke on there, maybe there's not a reason to put Pepsi and Dr. Pepper. They kind of run together, or Verizon and AT&T.
Yeah.
I'm not going to put all 10 oil stocks I own if they're all breaking out.
Yeah.
I might just put XLE.
Yeah.
/ Exxon, and that kind of lets you know that they're all running.
Gotcha.
Yeah, because I own at any given day it might be 118, 130 stocks. I'm not trying to put them all on the board. it's pretty much, I'm trying to put enough that I can like see a pattern because I am looking for market rotation. So I'm like, okay, what's stage 3 and what's stage 1?
Yeah.
And if I look in the stage 1, I see XLB, XLI, XLU, SOXX. I start looking at these. I start trying to put something together, Amgen and Merck kind of roll together.
Yeah.
That's biotech. It got Coke, Ford. There's a whole bunch more on here. I just went with these. So, in XLP, consumer staples, these ones over here I'm watching, XLP, what it was there's Pepsi in there, Dow. That tells me the Dow type stocks, Johnson & Johnson, Procter & Gamble.
Yeah.
We're probably seeing a rotation. Some of them are popping up on stage 1. The rest are in the watch zone.
Mm-hmm.
And then bonds, obviously, TLT. So and those Dow stocks are not going to go up if bonds don't go up. They're bond proxies. A lot of these dividend stocks are, held by retirees and shit. That's a doji. It was perfect right before the close, and then it kind of ticked up.
What is this? Sorry.
This is the TLT.
I still see the whiteboard.
Yeah. Oh, shit. Sorry. TLT. So this is the 20-year treasury bond?
Yeah. Yeah, this is what I was just looking at, too.
So the MACD kind of ticked over, even though price is going down.
Yeah.
So when that histogram slopes like that, it tells me that the momentum is turning. We got near the bottom. Obviously, it could go lower. It did over here, but near the bottom. We're below the 200. Anytime I get quality assets, Bitcoin, copper, lumber, fucking a Home Depot, just anything that's a quality asset and it gets way below the 200, it's like a rubber band, it just snaps back.
Right.
And you would get that money flow pattern, like sideways up, sideways down, sideways. Yeah. It runs to at least 89. And this is where it stopped before. And if you look over here, look at that doji right there. It's like, God damn. And then that started that run. So up until like the last 10 minutes, this was a perfect doji. A little early? Yeah. I'd like, obviously we want to get it above the 5. But it's definitely worth watching.
Yeah, absolutely.
And if we look at Dow, look, breaking out. Back in the box, man. That's crazy bullish.
Yeah, that's what we were talking about the other night.
So if I'm looking at my board and I'm thinking all this, okay, bonds could possibly be stopping here. We're seeing some Dow type components. The actual company Dow, as opposed to the diamonds, DIA, was kicked out of the Dow Jones, but we're seeing it turn. Coca-Cola is turning. Look at Johnson & Johnson.
Yeah, that was on my list of stocks that I like.
Dude, this if I was an options trader and I used to trade a lot of options, this right here, I mean, last time it stopped here, it ran up and hit the 200. So my options trade would be running it to right there.
Yep.
And I would even pick this up in the second income stream. This is a blue chip stock. This is a dog of the Dow. It's breaking above the 20. We got an anchor point. I mean, everything is set up. The histogram, you're back in the box. Yeah, this would be a nice trade. And I follow these every day. The dogs of the Dow.
Yeah, I got a list with all of them.
Yeah, you'll see them on my board. I mean, the reason I do that, because sometimes people will be like, well, I don't, what stocks? And they act like they don't know. And it's like, bro, you ever heard of IBM? And they're like, yeah. What about Verizon? You ever heard of Verizon? Yeah. What about Chevron? Yeah. Pfizer? Merck? So we start going down the list, okay, maybe you never heard of Amgen. I get it.
Right.
unless you worked in a hospital, you might not have heard of Amgen. But if you have anyone in your family with hepatitis, you might have heard of Amgen. They like provide. So you start going down it, and it's like, yeah, they know all these. Okay. So you just named 10 there. What is Verizon's number one competitor? They're gonna be like, oh, AT&T. Okay, so you know AT&T. You ever heard of T-Mobile? It's like, yeah, okay. So then we start going. I go back down the 10. I'm like, okay. Other than Chevron, have you ever heard of another gas producer? Like Exxon. Okay. Boom, boom. So now we know 20, right? And not only do we know 20, but we know the gas ones are in what's called the XLE. That's an energy ETF. So if we know what an ETF is, we now know what the two top stocks in the XLE are.
Right.
And so as you begin to whiteboard this for people, they actually know about 50 or 60. They just don't know they know 50 or 60.
Right.
And it blows their mind. And then they're like, oh, I can't hold all that. I go, you just said all that. Like, what do you mean you can't hold all that?
Right. You don't have to do anything.
Right. Does your kid, if you had to make something quick for your kid, it was kind of cheesy. Like, what would you, and they're like, oh, macaroni and cheese. Okay, cool. It's KHC, crap.
Right.
Right. And it's like, you ever wash your hair? And we can, I'll do 50 of these. And then I'm like, you ever pay insurance? Right. You ever bought a car? Do you ever turn the electricity on in your home? And it's like, yeah, well, who's your electricity? And literally, I've had people say Duke or Edison, Con Ed. And I'm like, yeah, I own all three of those. And then I own Southern. I also own the biggest one in Ohio. There's 100 utility stocks.
Right.
Or we could buy Gut. Gut owns all the major utilities, which is one of our tier 1 funds in the second income stream. Where's that? Let me see the portfolio here. Hold on. So here's the portfolio for Gut. It's got Duke, WEC, that's a big energy company. Southwest Gas Holdings, I don't know that one.
Never heard of it.
Nextra Energy Incorporated. But what's funny is we go look these up, it like serves the Georgia, North Carolina, Tennessee. We don't live there, right?
Yeah.
And it's not like these have commercials. They're not advertising for customers.
Right.
And they can only, national, what is this one? It's actually not even the list I have. But here's the thing. That's their top 10 holdings. And then they use leverage. And it blows my mind, their top picks, because I feel like my picks are better. Yeah. But it's a fund. There's $234 million in it. There's 200 stocks total. It's kind of hard to blow this out, right?
Right. In theory, yeah.
They're even buying shit in Europe, but it's all utilities. And let's see what the dividend yield is. 11.22%, and it pays monthly.
Yeah, Gut's a good one.
Right. And so there's the XLU is one sector of the S&P, right?
Yep, utilities, yeah.
So let's see, XLU. So it was $82. It fell to $75. Let's check Gut. The dividend on the XLU is like 3%. The dividend on Gut is like 11, almost 12%. It pays monthly. It's like 1% a month. But we caught it here, like when it collapsed.
I can't see your chart.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Let me add. Sorry. Here we go.
Yeah,
all right. Here we go. So I've been watching it because utilities had done so well.
Yeah.
And then utilities are still up here, and then this fund just crashes. And I'm like, what the fuck, dude? And they were like selling shares and stuff to raise more money.
Mm-hmm.
So it brings the value down because they diluted the share count. Makes sense, right?
Right.
But if you add more shares, it makes my shares less valuable.
Oh, yeah, I see.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if there's 21 million Bitcoins, but all of a sudden now they add 28 million, like our Bitcoins are worth less.
Right.
But we're watching it and look at this doji here. It's fucking beautiful. We actually started to fuck around with it on this one. I started adding right in here. But honestly, and I was saying this, you see how these moving averages are lined up? Where it's like 20, 10, 5. Nothing's happening there. It would take so much effort to turn this. And then if you notice, look what it looks like when it finally turns. You see how everything comes together?
Yeah.
Man, if you just get that concept right there, nothing wrong with buying a little here, but you don't buy much because you know the reality is this bitch is probably going to keep going down. You know?
Yeah.
That first turn is almost never works. It could be a stock. It just doesn't. You're going to see it try to, and then people are going to start shorting it again, you know?
Yeah. So down in that, what is that? The $4 range would have been the load the boat zone.
That's
essentially.
And here's the thing too about when you get on the bus, because sometimes, you know, I've had people say, "Oh, the second income stream, I'm underwater." Yeah, like you started doing it when the market was higher,
right?
You know, I don't know what to say. But what about the guy that came in right here and he's like, "Oh yeah, I like this gut thing, Gerald."
Right.
And he's buying away, and now we're up here.
Yeah.
So he's up 10, 20%, and he's collecting a 1% a month dividend. Like this is great.
Right.
You
well,
know,
it's like you were saying, you know, you buy some of these at, you know, so low, it kind of screws you up from ever buying them again.
It can. But what about the guy who started buying in here? Because we had this beautiful run, you know?
Yeah.
And
No,
like,
he's
it's going to start running again. And then
man,
it does. It is running. So, yeah, he's up, and now he's not.
He probably doesn't even own it anymore.
That's
hey man, fuck this gut.
Exactly. And I started figuring this out. I would be buying a house from a guy that's going into foreclosure, and I'm thinking, why didn't he rent it?
Right.
To him, this is a shit show. To me, it's an opportunity. We're both buying and selling the same fucking thing.
Right.
It was just point of view. And it's like, yeah, if that was all the gut you were ever going to have up here, it kind of sucks right now. But what if you were going to keep buying for the next 7 years?
Right.
You're not mad. Buffett's not mad that Coca-Cola went down. He's like, oh, hell yeah. But I get those people. They'll do that with the second income stream. I had a guy freaking out. I think you read it, talking about CRF and CLM and how they went down since he bought it. And I mean, to say that publicly and put it out there like there's something wrong with this strategy. And I'm like, dude, how much do you have? Like 10,000 shares?
Right.
And it was like 200. So your big plan was to only ever buy $1,600 of a closed-end fixed income. And somehow that was going to retire you.
Well, that's the thing is if you always plan on being a buyer of stocks, right? In theory, you'll always want them to come down.
Yeah, but I'm telling you.
I mean, not
people have a hard time with that.
Yeah, but you know what I mean? Not never go up, right? But yeah, that's
the perfect scenario is stocks drift higher and positions in your portfolio drop, and then you're able to add to them because the rest of them are up and you feel good about it.
Yeah.
When they all drop unanimously, I'm not a popular guy.
Right.
And I'll be like, oh no, this is good. And it's like,
are you sure about that?
It takes people a couple years. And then once they get it, now the one thing I love about the MFG Discord is when the markets get fucking hammered, a lot of them are excited.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's taken a while because the original group, man, like during COVID, I lost almost everyone. We had a couple hundred people and it was down to like 20. I was going to close it down.
Oh, shit.
And I was like, this is the buying opportunity of a lifetime and you guys are quitting. Like, and it just drove home to me. It's like everything they say is true. Like it really is true. People say they, like, oh man, yeah, I hope, but when it happens, they don't do it.
Yeah.
And you gotta, that's what self-talk, like you gotta talk to yourself. Like it helps me to make videos because I'm usually talking to myself.
Yeah.
Like, don't be a pussy. I'm talking to me.
Right. Oh, that's funny.
This gut is nice, man. The one that I've been buying here, I got orders in for in the morning. B-Cat.
Yeah, I bought some of that today.
I like this.
Or did I buy? yesterday.
You know, in 2030, they closed the fund.
Really?
Yeah, it's weird. Everybody gets their money back. But it's a ways from now. So I don't know how that plays out.
Yeah, how does that work?
I don't know. We'll see. It's just one position, but it's paying a shit ton of money. It's like 18%. It's like 1.2% a month, pays monthly.
We'll cross that bridge when we come to it.
Yeah, I mean, no one's going to lose anything. They're just going to close it, and you whatever it is, you get your money. So if it's still paying 18%, I mean, if it goes lower, shit, I might. And this was ASGI. I like this one too, man. That's another 18% or below the 200 day.
That's the one that I bought today was ASGI.
And if you're buying it on our strategy, I mean, you're for every share you're getting 3, man.
Yeah.
Let's see. And that thing is paying, dude. ASGI. So Coca-Cola pays 2%. This pays 13. Okay. Oh, it's BCAT. That's 18. But still, that's 1% a month. But you're buying it on leverage.
Right.
So you're technically, you can acquire like 3% a month for the price of 1. I mean,
yeah.
This is a nice tier 1. ECC was another one. I got to about 2,000 shares and I stopped just to spread it out. I like that one.
ECC, and then EIC was the one that you called out.
Yeah, that's their sister fund. EIC.
I feel like you called that one out like maybe that week of Christmas or a little bit before, maybe, because I picked it up and then it ran like all the way to what, 1650? 16.
Yeah, it took off on me. EIC.
Yeah.
I didn't even know about this one. I'd found ECC on my own. Just, you know, I was interested in the way they make their money. You know, they do loans and shit, senior loans, and they have a sister company. A lot of these do that are like environmentally safe or whatever.
Yeah. There's
something to the sister one that the other one doesn't do. Like they don't invest in certain type of businesses or whatever.
Yeah.
But this one is, I almost didn't do it. And Jess was talking to me about it. But it's outperformed the other one. Yeah, Eagle Point Credit. Interesting website. I don't know if you've been to the website.
Mm-hmm.
Some of their websites are cool. You know, you get like in the nerdy shit, like how they're making their money.
Yeah.
And this is ECC, which if you're going to do the second income, I think you owe it to yourself. I mean, I'm talking to listeners, but you owe it to yourself to understand what you're invested in. And you're not going to understand them all. That's kind of the point of our emails. And, you know, we send them out, try to give you a basic breakdown of the fund, but you really want to go look. And I think you'll sleep better in a sell-off if you understand what you own.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, you want to know the companies. Like a spec stock. This is stock that Bohr. I'm pretty good at these spec stocks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I've had some good calls, you know. I mean, I've had some 5X, 10X. I don't text them anymore. They arrested 7 influencers in Texas for front running.
Oh, fuck.
No, I'm not doing that.
No.
But like these guys, like let's say you had a big popular podcast. You would come on my podcast with your favorite stock pick. Me and you already bought it. And it's like a tiny stock. And we got like 200,000 listeners. So they start moving it, man. They get it up 50 cents or $1. Me and you get out. And then we don't talk about that stock again.
Right.
And then I go on your podcast like 2 weeks later and I have a pick. Well, there's a group of 7 of us. And together we got like 2 million followers. And that's what they were doing. I mean, they're literally texting each other on their phones. So, you know, I don't know if they're dumb. Like, that's illegal.
Right.
It's called front running. You're not allowed to do that. But the thing I never understood, they had so many followers. You didn't need to do that, bro. Like, why don't you just get good at stocks?
Yeah, exactly.
I think that let you know that they're not good at stocks, you know?
Oh, for sure.
So Bohr's one of mine. This company owns 21 jackup rigs. If you ever go to their website, it's pretty cool. Let's see.
Yeah, I was reading about Bohr, and I think it was something about their Arabia rig.
He got
Something about
shut down. Yeah.
yeah, but they said even if that one doesn't find replacement work, that the revenue was still at like 220 million or something estimated, which I guess for them was good.
Yeah, it's a small company.
But if that rig found work, I think they said it was like 250.
Yeah, the market cap is just at 1 billion with the stock at $3 in the $3.50 range, you know?
Yeah.
So it's a small company. I mean, and they own 21 of these jackup rigs, which I don't know if you know, they're between 100 million and 300 million per rig.
Yeah.
And so what they do is they own the rigs and they have the crews, and Exxon can lease them. That Arab immigrant company, I guess, is the one that had 2 or 3 rigs and like canceled them or stopped them or whatever. So they're not pumping oil for themselves; they're pumping it for Exxon, Chevron, you know, whoever.
Yeah.
The oil industry is a trip, man. It's like very connected. You know, there are service companies. All they do is transport people to these rigs, and it's a stock. And so they have boats, and all they do is get people to the rigs, and they bill them. They charge a lot.
Oh,
It's like it's like Uber for the oil people.
well, it's the same thing with the helicopters. I'm sure that's expensive too.
Yep. And then there's like oil, you know, they provide the food, or there's so many moving parts to this shit. Exxon doesn't want to fucking make meals.
Right.
So they hire a company that all they do is make meals, but they specialize in oil companies because they have special needs, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, so there's so much around this. And then there's like offshore, and then there's, you know, onshore. I'm watching that movie on Netflix called Landman right now, and they're drilling in. Have you watched that?
Yeah, me and my wife love that show.
Yeah, that's this, man, but not offshore. It's on land.
Right.
And that dude running it's a billionaire. So you think about Bohr's worth $1 billion. He's literally running a small version of Bohr.
Right.
And there's gangsters that work there trying to keep pirates away and fucking cartel. I mean, it's funny to watch those shows. Have you seen Axe Capital or what is it called? Billions on Showtime?
Billions.
He runs a hedge fund called Axe
No.
Capital.
I've heard that was a good one though. I don't have HBO or I'd watch it.
It's really based around the hedge fund manager. Can't think of his name right now, but the Obama administration went after him. He's just too rich and he didn't help politicians.
Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about. What the fuck is his name?
And he had like 1,000 traders or some shit that worked for him. But he was big on like, who'd you go to college with? You know what I mean? Like, where does he work? And like, there's a network, right? And so like, you're boys with a guy that works at Intel. You guys are fraternity brothers. And he gave big fat incentives to his traders. And so his traders would use those connections, you know?
Hey, was it Ken Griffin?
No, not King Griffin, but he runs that's the one Robin Hood got mad at. He runs Citadel Capital, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Who did?
I've got him on the thing. That's what Axe is based on, this character. And like he took a lot of money and bought paintings. Well, paintings can travel on an airplane. You don't have to report them. So you buy not the Mona Lisa, but you buy like Da Vinci and shit. Now you can transport like $100 million out of the country and it's not in a bank.
Because it's the art.
Yeah, and that pissed them off because they're thinking all they're doing is trying to, no shit. Who do you think buys $100 million painting?
Right.
You think guys buy it because they like art? Look out here, man. Yeah,
Right.
Maybe he does, but he's trying to hide money, you know?
Yeah.
Let me see. It's on the I like the biography. I was putting a lot in there, and I was trying to get people to watch them, but it's motivating when you watch some of these traders and you see the shit they've done, you know? Like Peter Lynch, who ran the Magellan Fund, he averaged it was a mutual fund. He averaged fucking 17% a year for 30 years.
Yeah, isn't that insane?
But the average retail shareholder averaged 3, because they would, when he was down, they'd get out, and when he was doing well, they'd get in. They were literally doing the wrong thing. Like Bill Gross, Jesse Livermore, that's the guy that started the bucket shops. He became one of the richest traders in the world, and then he committed suicide.
I was about to say, was that not the guy that shot himself in the head or whatever?
Yeah, he's one of the greatest traders ever. I mean, he ran it up from nothing to 100 million. And this is back in the 30s, and he started trading at 16.
And then he parked a bullet in his head.
Yeah, so you can be a great trader and lose.
We need to be great traders, but not end up with that.
Jesse Livermore. So my point, because like sometimes people get upset, and I'm like, bro, you can be great and be losing.
Yeah.
Like, don't shoot yourself. Like you should like think you're missing something. Something's missing, you know.
Yeah.
Oh, we used to do we used to have an award called the what was it called? The Jimmy Vong Award.
Mm-hmm.
God damn, what was it? He worked for a famous fund. Anyway, this was a while back when we were doing the MFG, when I was first getting what was his name? Anyway, he worked for, is it Dragon? I can't remember the name now. Anyway, it was a famous fund, right?
Yeah.
The Jimmy Wong Award. Jimmy Wong borrowed $1 billion for his fund, and he put it all into Fox Media. I think it was Fox, and ran it up, and then borrowed from other banks. Long story short, he had leveraged this into like $5 billion fucking dollars.
Oh, Jesus.
And then the stock crashed.
Oh, of course.
Well, these banks, they can't cover this shit, man.
Right.
And it just caused this ripple, and I started calling it the Jimmy goddamn, what was it? I was calling it the Jimmy Wong Award whenever you'd pick a stock and it crashed. Oh, yeah, that shit is funny to me. I'm looking on here. Yeah, there's a video on here called "The Man Who Solved the Market." It's about Jim Simons. History of Walmart. Oh, here he is. Oh, here we go. Hold on.
Stephen Cohen.
Stephen Cohen, man.
Stephen Cohen. That's it.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
Stephen Cohen, man. God, the Obama administration hated this dude. Just because he was like super rich, you know. How do you spell his last name? Cohen.
Cohen, right?
Is that it?
Is he the guy where it's the clip of him on trial, and it's like, how many times do you think about, and it's like people made memes about it, but it was like, how many times a day do you think about your stock portfolio? 50 times? And he's like, more. 100 times? More. 250 times? More.
More. He's like, that's all I think about, you asshole.
He's like, probably.
The SEC worried about how it would look to.
Hold on.
Stephen Cohen had it all. He lived in a 35,000 square foot mansion in Greenwich, Connecticut. He flew to work by helicopter. Nice. And he amassed one of the largest private art collections in the world, valued at $1 billion, including this $8 million shark suspended in formaldehyde. Cohen has been jokingly referred to as the ultimate predator because of his keen trading instincts. His hedge fund, SAC Capital, managed $15 billion in average returns of 30% a year for 20 years. It was almost as if Cohen had a crystal ball and could predict the future, except perhaps his own. His world appeared to come crashing down when the FBI and SEC accused SAC Capital of insider trading, getting confidential insider information, trading on it, and making a profit.
So you can see when I got letters from the SEC,
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, I ain't got billions. Why are you sending me this shit?
Right.
Profit.
This is certainly the most lucrative insider trading scheme ever charged.
After a 7-year investigation that began with the arrest of the founder of another prominent hedge fund,
Tiger.
the feds targeted executives, traders, analysts, lawyers, and scientists connected to Wall Street, ultimately hoping to bring down Cohen. SEC Capital ended up pleading guilty to insider trading, and Cohen's henchmen went to prison. Yet Cohen managed to get away scot-free with not a single criminal charge.
Nope.
How did he do it? This is the story of how the feds tried and failed to bring down the greatest trader who ever lived. Stephen Cohen was born into a middle-class family on Long Island, the brightest of 8 siblings. He mastered poker in high school, which taught him the art of making money. He wasn't as well off as his rich classmates at Wharton Business School and felt a need to prove himself. It was clear very early on he had a knack for trading. "I never saw talent like that. It was just staring at you," recalled a friend of Cohen's who ran options at trading firm Gruntle, Cohen's first job out of college. He had the instincts and acted quickly and made 5 to 10 million a year in commissions while still in his early 20s.
So when he's 20, he's making 5 to 10 mil a year just in commissions, working the phone.
It doesn't make sense.
Not even trading. Like because he's so good at talking about trading and stocks that he convinces people to like invest and they get a cut. So he would like pick shit that he really believed in. Like he's like, this is the shit. Like he's on the phone and he just brings in all this money and then he takes his money and starts investing it.
Yeah, but you know how much money he's got to bring in for them to pay him 5 or 10 million a year? That's nuts.
Oh, because even if it's like 10% bonus, that's 100 million.
Right.
And I doubt it's 10%.
No. Yeah, that's
I'd be shocked if it was that high.
20s. But he did get a scare that would affect him for the rest of his career. While at Gruntal, he bought shares of RCA just days before General Electric took over the broadcaster. When the SEC investigated him for insider trading, he pled the fifth and was never charged. Privately, his ex-wife Patricia said he panicked and feared ending up in prison. This close call taught him to be more careful.
Damn.
It wasn't long before he went out on his own. In 1992, he launched SEC Capital. At the time, few knew what a hedge fund was. In the simplest terms, it was a way for rich people to diversify and get stable returns.
Is that what it was? It's a way for just rich people. That's a great fucking yeah, Stephen Cohen is a badass, man. He's one of the Wall Street elite. But he's smart because he never actually would talk to you. You know, there's no video, there's no audio tapes of him going, hey, you should call your friend from college. You know, he just put incentives out and then gave you a lot of room. Right. But he traded too. He was rich as fuck. Why he, you know, but he wasn't doing that stuff. It was his traders doing that. Yeah. You know, but they obviously maximized because they could use his money and he's rich. So yeah, that's, you know, and I'm like, for MFG Capital, that's what I'm, you ever watch SMB Capital?
Yeah. Oh yeah. They got a lot of good stuff.
Yeah. That's what I want to build out of. I'm kind of doing it in a reverse way. Like he was a lawyer. He put up 250. His partner put up 250, and they started SMB Capital. They started trading. They brought traders in. They would stake the trader. Trader gets half of all profits, pays for no losses. Yeah. So it's a win-win, right? Yeah. You just got to come in and paper trade for a minute and show them you know what's up. And then they got another guy. All he does is watch all the traders and make sure anybody ain't doing something fucking stupid, you know? Yeah. And well, then they brought in investors, but the investors are putting money in so that they can give it to traders. Is really what's up, you know? So now let's say you got 2 or 3 million any given day on the street, but it's like you have 250, that person has 250. Yeah. Yeah. Man, it's kind of scary.
It is scary.
Yeah. Man, I'm all about that. You just got to have procedures in place and some proprietary, I said that word, proprietary software to oversee people that are trading, you know? Right. Like you got to allocate small amounts. He's got 25. He can only do so much damage, 25 fucking grand. You know, right. And then if he does well, making some money, you know.
I mean, but you'd also want people to do, obviously, the money flow in the way you trade, so they're not coming in and acting a fool on your money.
Right. Now, if he has a totally different way and he can come in and show us that he makes money, I'm okay with that.
Right.
But it's got to be better than what we're doing,
Yeah.
And I don't even want to know. You do it. Like say he trades futures and he trades fucking lumber or whatever the fuck it is, and he's got some way of doing it and he can show us.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Paper trade it for a month, and then we stake them. And then, you just keep giving them more as they do better. I mean,
yeah.
The idea in New Orleans was to get a mansion there for MFG Capital. And then some of these people would stay there.
That would be awesome.
At least for a little while. I mean, if he's 20, he's got nowhere else to be anyway. Like, if he can trade options because he's a math whiz, cool. Come on in. It's free. Come down here with me.
Right.
Here's a place to stay. We got the room set up at the place, and you got 30 days. I can shoot content out of it anyway,
Yeah, for sure.
You got a big trade room, and it's like, all right, let me see what you can do, bro. Let's go. Like, you do you. I'm going to be over here doing me, and we'll meet up at the end of the day, and we can see what he's doing on the computer. I mean, you make them paper trade for a while, and then they could do it from home. They just got to come in for a while so you can see what they're doing. I mean, some of them may want to stay. They like New Orleans.
Yeah.
Like maybe he's my midnight to 6 a.m. guy, and he's in there, I don't know, smoking crack, trading Bitcoin. I don't care as long as he's making money,
Right.
Don't care what he's doing, man.
Smoking crack and trading.
I don't care. Just trade and make us money.
Yeah.
But also too, if the fund is running money, there's someone there at night kind of keeping an eye on shit. So at 4 a.m., they could start trading on Robinhood. They can start trading. You might have 20 accounts.
Well, and that's the thing about futures is like futures, you're open from, at least with my broker, from 5 o'clock Sunday night.
Sunday till what? Friday at 8 or whatever?
Friday at 4, I guess it is, 3 or 4. But then it closes from 4 to 5 for whatever fucking maintenance or whatever they call it.
Right. And then it pops back, right?
Yeah. And that's the thing is like when I was working real long nights, I would trade gold at like 2:30, which is when they call it the London session. Right. And everybody's like, oh, it runs in the middle of the night. I'm like, oh yeah, right. And then I watch it pump $15 fucking in 5 minutes. It's like, oh, okay, cool. It's
what?
2:30 in the morning.
That's England's opening, right?
Yeah.
And so there's 4 major time zones in the Forex world.
Yeah.
The yen, the UK, right? British pound.
Yeah.
Australia is its own little time zone.
Yeah.
And then Asia.
Yeah. And that's part of the reason that they say that's kind of part of the reason why New York opens as powerful as it is New York, you have a flood of volume anyway, right? But then there's those, as soon as those floodgates open, then you have all the fucking London people, want to get their orders off before
they go to bed, right?
Yeah. So that's why like that whole, and I was even amazed at watching NASDAQ futures. I mean, I could catch 50 points in either direction, 100 points in either direction at 6 a.m.
Really?
So, I mean, yeah. So you could play it. And that was the thing too about like when I was trading like typical 30 minutes right at the open. And part of that was that I had a job. But what I started to notice was like on the chart was like liquidity, right? And that's like the lifeblood of the markets essentially.
Absolutely.
Well, I was noticing, right? Like say I'd take a buy and I'd catch 50 or 100 points. Well, I'd come back later and that was just a wick up. Well, then it went 200 or 300 points in the other direction. So I was like, okay, well, if I just would have waited, right, and let it run its way up, right, and then boom, 300, 400 points. So here I am taking 50 or 100 and thinking, ooh, wow, good trade, because maybe it was, right? But the real trade was in the complete opposite direction,
right?
But and that's like one of the things that struggled with so bad. Obviously, you don't want to be short at the first red candle, obviously, but it's like finding a balance of like, well, shit, I could have went short there. I could have went short there. You know, it's like I've been trying to remain somewhat flexible, but not be a degenerate at the same time. You know,
right? Day trading, I'm usually, where did the 5 minute end? And then, if you can jump on early, stock charts and all these, like, especially if you're on like E-Trade and whatnot, you can see the after hours. You can kind of get in flow if you're just watching.
Yeah.
But I usually don't get involved till it opens. You can.
Yeah.
I just find the order entry annoying because you got to do actual limit orders. You can't do market orders.
Yeah.
But it kind of gives you an idea what's up,
Yeah.
Where that last 3 to 4 minutes for the open can be some serious fuckery, though.
Oh, absolutely.
People positioning. But typically, I would wait on the open, and then I would immediately get in. But I'd get in for like half the size.
Yeah.
And that way, if you're wrong, the next bar you're out.
Yeah, and what I've been doing lately is letting the first 5, 10 minutes, 15 minutes sort itself out. Because I feel like, you do get the days where it opens and it just runs in one way or another, but sometimes, it just has to sort itself out.
If you're distracted, that's definitely the best thing. If you have nothing else going on, I usually jump in and try to catch it, man.
Yeah.
But I go half size and I'm quick to get out.
Right.
And then if it turns around, I'll get back in. I might do that 4 or 5. I don't have any problem doing that because if you can catch a run, you make up for it.
Right.
Yeah, that shit drives Jess crazy. We're great. I'm like, get in. Well, we don't know. Just get in. Let's go. Next candle's red. Get out. Like, dude, sometimes you'll do that and just you'll ride it up, man.
Well, and that's like the one I sent you today. It was doji on the 1 minute. My entry right
that's all I need to see.
And then it's like, it's like I look back and it's like there's not a better entry on this setup. You know what I mean? There's just not. Every entry I could have taken, right, is objectively worse than what I took. And that's where it's like I get like a 1 minute or a 2 minute, like either one of those looks good parlayed in with the 5, and it's like, bam, let's do it.
You can't, because in that obviously with speed and experience, and some people just have that in them, but you'd be shocked the number of people just freeze.
Yeah.
And they're so concerned with losing.
Yeah.
And it's like, man, you got to watch John Douglas. And I'll put these homework and it's usually a series of 4 videos. I'm like, don't watch ahead. Even if you've seen them, don't watch ahead. Keep rewatching number 1 or listening. I usually listen. I don't watch it.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to post the next one. And if I wait 2 days, just re-listen. Every chance, if you have nothing going on, play it. But by the time you get to the 4, what you come to realize is totally fucking random. And you're going to lose. And that's no big fucking deal.
Yeah.
And you got to get over that. And it's like half your trades are probably going to be losers. So that means half your life you're a loser. So if you have any sort of ego attached to that, you got to let go of that shit now.
Right.
But think about, like, if you have a doctorate, you've always been right. You were a cheerleader or captain of football, whatever bullshit, right?
Yeah.
Where you take a test and you get a good grade and everybody loves you.
Yeah.
You come here and it's like half of everything you do is a loss.
Yeah.
Nobody cares how pretty you are or what, how much you can lift or what football team you're on. Nobody gives a fuck.
Right.
And that's hard for some people.
Yeah.
I was a loser when I came to it, so that didn't bother me.
Well, and that's what I was about to say. People come to trading, and it's like you were already a loser anyway.
I was already I hadn't wanted shit, so I didn't have that problem.
Yeah, I know I was, and it's like we were talking the other night. People that get frustrated about trades not going their way or whatever, but it's like, don't get it twisted. Like you chose to be here. You know what I mean?
You're a professional of losing.
Yeah,
And now you're mad you're losing. It's like, doesn't.
Man, I was looking through my camera roll the other day, and there's a picture of my computer setup, and I think I have it was like a PAL day or whatever, and all you see is a big red can. I had to scroll down, to see the bottom of this candle. and I have a picture of me pointing the fucking Glock at the screen. No context, but I'm like, damn, man, I must have been going through it that day, you know? But yeah, it's just, but like hearing you, you're like, man, fuck that trade. Let's take another one, you know? And like, it's so, ha ha. But I think there's a lot of power in that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And that's what like fuck that stock is all about. And it's like, I don't want any FOMO.
Yeah.
You know, it is what it is. I was in it or I wasn't.
Right.
You gotta rely on your ability to win again.
Yeah.
And so that's my thing. It's like if I don't win today, I'm gonna win tomorrow.
Right.
And you just can't let them get too far out of fucking control. So your real job. This is Bitcoin on. Oh, I didn't add it. This is Bitcoin on the 1 minute.
Oh, I'll pull it up.
I'm always watching this motherfucker.
I tell you what, I'm still looking for a somewhat decent broker because after we traded that the other night, I think I could really make some money from that.
BitX is a 50x leverage. Here's the thing: they don't take Texas, they don't take Florida, and they don't take Louisiana. But I didn't think about it. I have a VPN. I'm going to turn that motherfucker on. But they're asking for the address, and so I guess I could give them a fake address. I don't know, man, but my state's not allowed to do it.
I mean, fuck, you can use my address.
I was going to say you should check and see if your state is cool with BitX, but it's 50-1. That's where a lot of people day trade Bitcoin.
Well, BitX, BITX.
Yeah, I think that's what it's called. It's like leverage Bitcoin trading, and that's where a lot of the BitBoy influencer, he promotes it there. Let me see. I think it's BitX.
I tell you what, he knows his stuff, doesn't he?
He's a trip, man. That guy, you know, he had an affair with this hot chick, and then he was like on drugs, and he lost his channel. And I was like, you can lose your channel for that? Like, I didn't even what? How can that be? Joe Rogan does this every day. What are you talking about?
Right.
Yeah, but he like brought in a partner, you know, and then he did like a corporation, and there was literally a morality clause. And because he had an affair and had been taking Adderall without a prescription, they removed him. But hello, he's the talent. So then they realized, oh, we have to do this channel without him, but it's called BitBoy Crypto. And so their shit went straight down. And this dude went and started his own channel. And it's just been a shit show. And it's like, how did you guys get into this? They were making like $7 million a year as a team. And they got butthurt because he had an affair and was doing Adderall. It's like, it's none of your fucking business. He's making you a fortune. Just keep playing the. I mean, my man Wes Watson, he's about to lose his channel.
Who?
Wes Watson. Is there not a BitX exchange?
I'm looking it up. I'm not seeing it. But I'm seeing Marge X, right? 100-1 leverage. And
yeah,
get this. It says your crypto trading boutique. So
and Kraken, I think, is another one. Is it BitX?
My buddy from work, he doesn't work there anymore, but he had an account through. He was acted like he bought it off the black market. You know, he's like, they don't really do these accounts anymore. I'm like, what do you mean they don't do those accounts anymore? How do you still have yours if they don't do those accounts anymore? Yeah,
that doesn't sound good.
No, it doesn't.
I mean, if you make a ton of money, can you get it out? Like,
see, that's what would worry me.
Yeah. You know what? Let me go to BitBoy Crypto's thing. That motherfucker is always promoting them. They never let me in, though.
Well, you tried to join?
I tried to get on the platform, but they block Texas and all that. Every state I'm in, they block. Yeah, he's at 144,000 subscribers now. He used to have like 500,000 or something. All right, let me see.
Hey, it's not Bybit, is it?
Yeah, Bybit. That's it.
Is it?
Yep, that's it. I think that's it. Why, have you been there?
But there's a 600,000 USD year-end prize pool.
Yeah, they do
Sign
all
up
kinds of
to
weird shit.
$5,050 in welcome bonuses.
Yeah.
We might need to I might sign up and see if I can do it. And if they can do it in my state,
Boy X.
you just so happen to live in my state. Yeah.
Let's see. Yeah, I think
Tell
it's
you
BitX.
what. We regret to inform you that our services are not available for access in your region.
Yeah, so where the fuck is it available? Now, Coinbase was doing trading, but it's not. You can do on futures. You can load it up, but you need a chunk of money to day trade on. Is it BitGet? Maybe it's BitGet. Which one did you look up? What was it?
Bybit?
Bybit.
That was the one. Yeah, that was the one that said wasn't available in our region.
I need to figure out where it's available. I wonder if it's available in Miami or in Florida.
Yeah, hit up Jess.
It says BitGet is not available in U.S. primarily due to regulations imposed by U.S. financial authorities. It says the first thing says how to access BitGet in U.S. pure VPN. Yeah, because I have a VPN and you can just change where you're from.
Yeah. Well, my thing is like my broker has Bitcoin. Like you can trade it just the same way I could trade the NASDAQ or anything else. But the problem is the spreads are so goddamn wide. Right? So like if I click.
Right. Here, that's the problem with futures, trying to day trade them.
Which is like a problem on the NASDAQ that you just don't have. Like, so right now, at least my chart says 97,326 on Bitcoin, right? Well, if I wanted to go long, it might be 97,350 or 550 is the spread. It might be a $200 spread, right? So it needs to move at least $250 for you to even break even.
Which makes it hard to day trade.
Right. Whereas if you can get quick executions like when we traded the other night, I mean, dude, $1,000 move.
Right. Yeah, and that's tough.
I mean, but I know there is one out there. I know there has to be. So I'll have to look more into that. I mean, it's just nice for like nights like this or the weekends or whatever,
Yeah, and I have futures contracts on right now on Bitcoin Cash, and Link. Coinbase, their futures thing, they have pretty decent exchange. You can do gold, Dogecoin. There's like 15 things you can trade. But it takes a little bit of money, because even on the futures, it's only levers 3-to-1 or 5-to-1.
Well, and I'm so used to the offshore unregulated.
Right. These aren't that,
brokers with like 500-to-1, and it's like.
Now gold and silver are like 20-to-1. So,
okay.
But not Bitcoin.
Well, it's just like you use that, right? And you go to like 1 to 50 and it's like, what is this? And it's like, still, dude, 1 to 50 is a lot of leverage. You know what I mean? You're like, but still, you're like, what is this?
But if you can catch the right side, Yeah, man. Hey, before we end this, I know you got to work and shit. Any stocks on your mind? You got one?
I
had a hard time picking just one.
Yeah, no, I just made a little list of stuff that I like here, but it's nothing different than what you have.
I feel like I think bonds have bottom. I think these Dow stocks are about to run.
Yep. Oh, there was what was it? ES.
ES.
Yeah, I read that I want to say it was ES.
EverSource Energy.
Yeah, it's got Morningstar says $73 fair value, but I was reading and they said they raised its dividend to $2.86 per share annualized for 2024, maintaining a string of 6% dividend increases that we think can continue for several more years.
Wow, and it's below the 200.
Yeah, it's what the bulls are saying. That was just one that I came across earlier, and I was like, ooh.
Yeah, I like it.
And then
it's stopped here before.
Yeah, like I said, these were just some I was like, well, I'm going to keep an eye on that. And the other one was...
This a utility stock?
Yes.
Looks like it. EverSource Energy.
I believe so.
Yeah, it looks like it.
And then the other one was, where is it on my notes? I missed the break. It gapped up like 5% today. But the other one was CE, Celanese Corp. I wanted to get your opinion on that. It's trading at a 53% discount.
Whoa. What do they do?
It's a chemical company, one of the largest producers of acetic acid and its downstream derivative chemicals.
Man, I like that jump, even though it popped big. Tomorrow it'll probably
I found it today after it had gapped, but I'm like, man, if I could have found it on like last Wednesday, that January 8th, into Friday, you know what I mean?
That's perfect.
But I seen that jump, and I'm like, fuck, I wanted to ask you about that just to. But when I saw
yesterday would have been the perfect purchase time right here.
Yeah.
I mean, yesterday, if you could have called it right there, I guarantee you tomorrow it opens down.
Yeah.
And then I would jump on it. And what was the true value or the fair value?
Morningstar has $150.
Wow. So that's way above the 200. And it's been there before.
Yeah.
So it's not like it's unheard of.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah, like I said, after I saw that gap, I was like, ooh, man.
Look at the weekly.
Oh, yeah.
What caused this horrendous down move? I would want to know that. Like, I would go figure that out. And that's the kind of shit I would get like Jess, and then I have another person who helps me analyze shit.
This says on September 24th.
And I would try to figure that out.
Oh, their earnings per share dropped by almost 15%.
And it could be just, they just fucking
and then
messed up.
revenue down by 50 million or 1.86%.
But Morningstar still likes them.
Yeah.
You want to check too, like how was that a recent write up, or are they only writing one time a year on this company? You know what I mean?
This was Seth Goldstein, December 10th.
Okay, so that's recent. That makes a big difference too. Yeah, I like it.
He wrote that when it was in that like consolidation stage 1 box area between the 10th and really you could argue until today.
Yeah.
Yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, man, that'd have been a good and then I was gonna read into.
Well, mine was the Dow itself. But if you're a trader, you can do like the triple.
Yeah.
You know, it broke this box and then it went right back up. You know, it broke it. And now it's right back in there. It closed on a doji, man, right above the 5, back in the box. I mean,
And what is this?
This is the Dow Jones.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
But it's the triple. So it's the U Dow 3 times. So, you know, if you didn't want to try to pick it, because a lot of these Dow stocks are setting up, Johnson & Johnson, Coca-Cola, Pepsi. But if you don't want to try to pick one, you're just a trader, this U Dow is 3 times leverage. You know, if you're using margin, you can just do your own leverage, right? You could just, you don't even need to buy the U Dow, but you know, that's a layup play. I think it goes up into the, you know, Dow could run from here. Maybe not tomorrow, but I think by the end of the week, we're either running up or we're headed back down because it came right down into that support area and then stopped.
Yeah, it's a healthy pullback.
Healthy pullback. That's what I'm saying. But if we don't get going, it is what it is, you know?
Yeah.
But we bounced. We're back above the 5. You know?
What I thought was funny was all those small, controlled, gradual bringing down of it, you know, like up top, you know, whereas like every time I've watched the Dow, wherever it's going in a fucking hurry. You know what I mean? Big candles. Right. You know, how big do you want your candles? Yes. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. So it was just so funny to see it just super controlled, just pow, 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 pow.
Yeah.
You know?
Usually when you get a controlled sell-off, that really means it just wants to go higher. Like they're just doing portfolio management, trimming some shit. Other people are picking it up. It means the market wants to go. When the market wants to go down, it goes fucking down.
Yeah.
You know, there's no hesitation to it. I would have thought it went all the way to the 200, but that was far enough. People started buying right there, you know, and ran it up, man. That's cool.
Yeah, that's when I used to day trade, but man, the stops were wide, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, just because at any given time, I mean, one freaking candle, it's like, good Lord, you know. But when you catch a run, it really runs. And that's why when I like rotated between the S&P and I felt like, okay, cool, it moves, but not the way I wanted. Well, then you have the Dow Jones and it's all the volatility. And I felt like the NASDAQ was kind of like I don't know, right in the middle, you know, a good alternative. So,
yeah, I trade it every day. Not to say sometimes I won't trade a stock. There's some of these quantum computer stocks, they've been hit hard.
Yeah.
And they were down 30-40% yesterday, and they were up. I meant to day trade some today, and then they went up 20%. And I just got up late. I wasn't ready and forgot all about it. And at the end of the day, I'm like, fuck.
Yeah.
That was my plan, and I just forgot about it. Like,
yeah.
But if you look at the charts, man, it was just 20% runs.
Yeah.
But they can go the other way, so you got to be careful. You know, it was a $12 stock, and it dropped to $4.
Right.
All because NVIDIA said that the quantum computers, you know, maybe it's not going to. Basically, he was saying it might not progress as fast as shareholders want.
Right.
Or he just wanted to knock down a bunch of stocks. Like, you know, they're coming right back, though. I've got a list of several of them. They're smaller companies, though. That's why they're so goddamn volatile, you know?
Yeah.
So, you know, you got to find some people need to trade Johnson & Johnson. Some people can trade stocks that move 20-30% in a day.
Right.
If you're day trading, man, you got to be careful.
Oh, absolutely.
Or, you know, use stops, man. I appreciate you coming on. I don't want to hold you forever.
Yeah, no problem. It was fun. Yeah,
you're on Central Time, right?
What's that?
You're Central, right?
Yeah, Central Time. Yep.
What time you head to work?
I leave the house about 5:30.
In the morning?
Yeah, in the morning.
Oh, shit, bro. I didn't know you had to leave that early.
No, it's all good.
Yeah,
you asked me to come on. I said, yeah, let's do it.
Yeah, why didn't you leave that goddamn early? What time you get off in the afternoon?
Yeah, 2:30. I work 6 to 2:30.
All right. If we do it next time, we'll just do it earlier. I didn't realize.
I was about to say, hey, we don't, like I said, whatever works. You know, I wasn't doing shit else anyway. You know.
Right. Well,
and like Maddie said, it can be good practice for when the baby gets here anyway. I ain't gonna be able to sleep worth the fuck then anyway.
Yeah, sucks, man.
So but yeah, no, it was cool. But yeah, if you want to do it again, I'm more than willing.
I used to have to put my son, either drive him in the car or put him on the dryer. Something about the dryer. So I did that, and we would do it every day. But you got to keep turning it every 40 minutes, right?
Right.
So it was terrible. I set an alarm to get up to turn this fucking thing. Well, we do this for a month. My electric bill, $780.
Oh, I bet.
This is not at a time when 700 was cool, you know.
Right.
Wow. It's like, how am I going to pay for this?
Right. That's a lot of money.
But it let my wife sleep, you know. And
if
I had him pissed and her pissed, it was a bad day.
Oh, absolutely.
So I was like, I'd rather eat it, deal with him, and then she not be that pissed off.
So he wouldn't sleep if it wasn't moving?
He wouldn't sleep, and it had to be the dryer. We tried everything.
Oh, no.
And for whatever reason, that dryer worked. And after a while, you're just like, go to fucking sleep. And you would just turn that dryer on.
Right.
And then I call the dude that does it. And I go, hey, can you make this run all the time? And he's like, you want your dryer to run? Yeah, all the time. I just want to turn it on, and it doesn't go off until I turn it off.
Right.
He's
Why would you want to do that?
He's like, that's not a thing, man.
Right.
And I go, no, I don't want to dry clothes.
Right.
He was like, I'm out of here. I don't know what weird shit you guys are into, but
yeah, he wanted no part of it.
Yeah, he didn't understand. I go, no, I put my kid on here.
That sounds even worse.
Yeah, it sounds even worse. He's like, you're putting your kid on the fryer. And it's like, yeah, I know.
This guy's a lunatic.
It's the only thing that worked, man. My mom said the only thing that worked was driving me around in the car.
Yeah, that was always a good one.
Which is probably why I get tired.
Well, and like I was a good sleeper. She was a good sleeper, and I told her, I said, we're gonna end up with the opposite. Just watch, you know, just a terror, you know. But
hopefully not. Do you know if it's a boy or girl?
Yeah, we're having a girl.
Okay, damn. I always wanted a girl.
Yeah, she wanted a boy first. Oh, I want her to protect her, you know. But hey, that's the way. You know, you had a 50% chance, you know.
Yeah, I always wanted.
What are you going to put your money on, red or blue? You know,
I wanted a girl. I don't know why I wanted a girl. I just did. And I don't know. Girls like their dads. Boys love their moms. That's the way it tends to go. And so try to adopt people along the way.
Yeah. Absolutely.
You know, but you know, I was like, I wanted to adopt like a Asian girl. It's really good at math. No, just because I'm like thinking no school. We're just developing quantitative trading.
Right. I need you to build me a trading system.
I was going to adopt 2 or 3 kids that are really good at math.
But I feel like if you found somebody smart enough, right, you'd be like, yeah, that's it. That's all you need. You know, like we're trying to get it. We're trying to match the trajectory of the. Right. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you're talking about a fucking trading model. Of course, we can build you a trading model. You know.
What was that on Peter Pan? That one guy, he had all those kids. It's like,
oh yeah,
kids are traders.
Yeah.
That would be great. That would be great, man. You'd be good, man.
All right, yeah, for sure. I appreciate you, GP. Thank you.
Yeah, so man. Much. We'll talk soon.
All right, yeah.
All right, man. Hell yeah, that was great, man. Listen, I was the same age as my man Ethan when I got started on this money flow journey, man. And I haven't looked back, and I got a feeling he won't either. Nothing I enjoy more than sitting down with people like these good people you see here at events. My man Chris Johnson, my man Michael Crow, there's my man Mark. We're on stage in New York, doing radio in Houston, anywhere that I can get people to listen. You can do this. You can be financially free. You can take care of your family, and the money flow can help you. MFG, baby. God bless.